Բարև ձեզ սիրելի հայրենակիցներ, ես դոկտոր Ֆրիդա Ջորդանն եմ, Ոսկացույցի դոնորների հիմնադրամի նախագահ։ Մենք շատ հպարտ ենք, որ տարիներ է արդեն, որ շատ մոտքից սկսել ենք աշխատել Glendale Adventist հիվանդանոցի հետ, որը անշուշտ գտնվում է Glendale-ի սրտում եւ շատ մեծ աշխատանք է տանում մեր գաղութին օժանդակելու բոլոր իրենց բժշկական հարցերի մեջ։ Ես այսօր շատ հպարտ եմ, որ մեր տաղավարում է գտնվում Glendale Memorial-ի նախագահն, պրեզիդենտ CEO-ն, որ այսօր եկել է բացատրելու բոլոր այն աշխատանքները, որ տարվում է հիվանդանոցում եւ որ ինչպես դուք կարող եք այդ աշխատանքներից օգտվել եւ հիվանդանոցը կարողանա ձեզի օժանդակի։ Մենք առանց ժամ վատնելու կուզենք, որ գնանք եւ հարցազրույցը շարունակենք անշուշտ անգլերենով եւ բարի գալուց մաղթենք մեր հյուրին։ Welcome. Sorry for this long introduction, Kevin.
That's okay.
Kevin Roberts are new, not new, it's almost 2 years now.
Almost 3, yeah.
3 years, CEO of the Glendale Adventist Hospital. I'm so glad that you have settled down so nicely and you have met your missions, objectives, which we are going to go through it very soon. But first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself. Who is Kevin Roberts and what kind of a background you're coming from?
Well, my name is Kevin Roberts, and I am the president and CEO at Glendale Adventist Medical Center. It's a wonderful institution to serve at. My background actually is nursing. I'm a registered nurse, and one of the fun aspects of my career is that I actually trained as a student nurse at Glendale Adventist Medical Center 35 years ago in 1979.
Wow, what a climbing of the ladder, huh? From student nurse to CEO.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
But I didn't work there after I graduated from nursing school. I moved back to Sacramento, where I grew up, and served as a staff nurse for many years, and then got into management, and then got this wild idea about being a hospital CEO someday.
That's great.
And it actually came to pass. I served as a critical care nurse, a nephrology nurse, a medical surgical nurse, some ER, and various things. And then I went into administration, became a director and a vice president, a chief operating officer in different locations around the Western U.S. And my first job as a CEO was actually in Hawaii.
Wow, what a beautiful place, huh?
Oh, it was terrific. It's a hospital in our health system called Castle Medical Center. And I served as the CEO there for 7.5 years before I came here back to Glendale ultimately.
Wow.
And so I was there for 7.5 years, and now I've been here for a little over 2.5 years at Glendale Adventist. And it's great to be back. I love, the environment, the challenge, the complexity of the medical center, learning new cultures. I've been exposed in my career to a lot of different cultures. Growing up in Sacramento wasn't particularly diverse, but I went to my first vice president position was on the Navajo Indian Reservation. And I spent 2 years among the Dene, they call themselves.
Wow, that's
the Navajo
nice.
Nation. And it was so much fun learning, getting acquainted with that culture. Then also spending that 7.5 years in Hawaii, learning all about the Asian, Polynesian, that real melting pot of cultures there. And then coming to Glendale and becoming acquainted with the Armenian culture and the Hispanic culture and the Korean cultures. It's been terrific. I love those aspects of my work.
That's wonderful. What has been the biggest challenge since you moved from Hawaii to Los Angeles, to Glendale?
To Glendale. Probably just adapting to the dimensions of this medical center. This is a 515-bed major medical center with lots of complex programs. It's in an urban setting. It's got a whole host of communities surrounding it. Just getting acquainted with that urban medical center and kind of catching up with what that means as an executive. And but it's very exciting. I never would have dreamed that I would have come back as the CEO at Glendale Adventist, but it's such a privilege, and the challenge is really good for me. I'm in the middle of my career. I've got energy, I've got passion, and I'm connected to the mission of this hospital. You know, this is a faith-based hospital, faith-driven actually. Our mission statement is to share God's love with our community by promoting healing and wellness for the whole person. And that is something I can just soak my heart and my soul and my hands into. And that's what gets me up every day to come and make sure that the residents of Glendale and the foothills are served, you know, with high world-class quality. And so it has been challenging, but any transition is challenging. But it's very exciting because in my previous hospital executive roles, I didn't get to work with really subspecialist areas, open heart programs with complex devices. We have 2 different types of robots, the Da Vinci robot for general surgery, the Makoplasty robot for hip and knee replacement. We have the surgical or single incision laparoscopic surgery program, which is a marvelous technology in the hands of skilled surgeons that really makes huge differences. We have the neonatal intensive care unit, so we can take care of the sickest babies. We have a very sophisticated cancer program with linear accelerators and radiation therapy and advanced protocols for cancer treatment. We have a neurointerventional program that allows us to do very complicated interventions for strokes, patients with strokes, threading these little tiny catheters up through arteries into the brain, delivering stents and coils and drugs in very, very microscopic doses to have amazing and sometimes miraculous results. So for me, it's like, wow, you know, I get to be part of that and lead the vision on that and to promote the quality on that. And it's just, it's very, very stimulating. And I think part of my joy is the fact that I am a clinician. The nurse in me has never faded.
No, I can see that. The passion of care and, you know, the care for the patients, care for the good medical treatment is always there. Very high quality. I bet you see everything that is missing or everything that has to be improved when you go around.
Yes. I hope that I have those instincts that have been developed over a career of 35 years to make sure that that we're focusing on the right things. I mean, healthcare is very complex, and there's an infinite number of things you can do, but only a certain amount of things you should do. And hopefully, with God's blessing and His guidance of our team and our doctors, we spend our energy doing the things we should do and must do.
That's wonderful. We know that we are going through a very challenging circumstances of these changes in the healthcare and Obamacare and all those different kind of insurances. Can you briefly explain to our audience that what kind of insurance policies are allowed into the hospital, and what are you taking in and what are you not taking in?
Well, we take everybody. I mean, everybody that comes to our doors we serve, particularly in our emergency department. It's a very busy ER. It grows every year, and its quality is solid, and the patient experiences are very solid. So for the first point, we take anybody that needs our services. We virtually cover almost all insurances. I can't remember all of the details, but there are a few that we don't. But you know, all the major insurances we are participants on. There have been a lot of changes and shifts that are going on with Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, and we are adapting to those as well. There's a big pilot program that just started 2 weeks ago called the Cal MediConnect program, or the conversion of Medicare, Medicaid, dual eligible residents and kind of pushing them into a managed care or HMO kind of a product.
Yes, yeah.
And so we have been preparing for that and working to write contracts with as many insurance companies as we can to make sure that patients in our community have access to our great doctors and our great hospital.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you. And very close to my heart is your cancer center.
Yes, of
which
course.
I think it's one of the best for the community.
Well, thank you.
Now, can you explain which areas of the cancer treatment you are focused on? You are in the general cancer treatment, or in particular ones?
Well, we have a full range of services. We have chemotherapy and we can do research protocols with chemotherapy, so we can do experimental chemotherapy. It's very important because cancer therapy and research is a continuous progressive science. And so we have the capacity to do that. So the advanced chemotherapeutic drugs can come into Glendale, and we can serve patients there so that they don't have to drive to distal parts of LA to get high quality world-class care. We have a linear accelerator, so we can do radiation therapy to all different parts of the body, the brain, the lungs, in different types of cancer. And we're affiliated with a gamma knife institution that's not in Glendale but it's close by, that can do a very, very pinpointed type of radiation therapy for certain types of cancers. So there are very few things that we can't do. We don't do bone marrow transplant, which I know is near and dear to your heart, and it's near and dear to mine. But virtually everything else we can do, or we have connections in the community to take care of that. So we have a comprehensive cancer care program that is award-winning, and is not as large as others, but I think that makes it more intimate, more personal, and more human.
Especially for cancer patients that they don't want to travel. It's very tough for them to go long distance for their chemo or other treatments.
Yeah, especially radiation therapy. I mean, you have to do that and chemo. It's a serial program. You go every day for a week or several, it's a series. So you want to go, if you can, to somewhere close to home. And Glendale Adventist's cancer program is close to home, and it's high quality. It really is.
And the one thing which really impressed me is your rehab center for cancer, and all those centers that you introduce for well-being of cancer patients, starting from the week program. They lose their hair, but they have several options of selecting what type of hair they want to have it later on, and all those exercises and also diets. You have a special section for them.
Dietitians, movement therapy, the cosmetic support programs for the wigs and various things, and we just last week had our annual Cancer Survivors celebration, and we had cancer survivors dancing on stage and making music and celebrating life, and that's the real headline of cancer therapy and cancer care is the celebration of life, and so it becomes kind of a social network too. I mean, many of our cancer survivors just become dear friends because they go through personal challenges together, and it makes lifelong friendships, not only with them, but with our staff too. They become very attached sometimes to our patients.
Yes, and there are things that they cannot discuss with their spouses, family, but they can discuss with your staff, with the other cancer survivors.
That's right.
Yeah, and which is very, very important to share experiences. Now, are these open to public, or they have to be your patient to begin with, in order to be able to use this facility?
I believe we are open. All these extra services would be available to patients that hadn't been treated at Glendale Adventist. So if they need support for cosmetics, wigs, and that sort of thing, call the Cancer Center. If they want to participate in movement therapy, music therapy, there's a knitting co-op of cancer in the Cancer Center. I mean, yes, if we're not. We are here to serve our community and to share God's love. And if you've had treatment somewhere else, but you need this kind of internal support, indeed, please give us a call and participate with us, because we are here to serve. That's why we're here. We've been here for 109 years. Next year, we'll have our 110th celebration at Glendale Adventist Medical Center. So
wow.
We're not going anywhere.
No, I'm so glad to hear it.
Yes.
Now, I think it's very fitting with your mission that you have been supporting the Armenian Bone Marrow Donor Registry work.
Oh, yes.
And we would like to thank you. And for the third consecutive year, you have been the major sponsor of our gala, which is on the August 10th. And we really appreciate all the efforts that you put in the community. And I'm sure that you have, not only you are helping the Armenian Bone Marrow Donor Registry, but you also have a specific outreach programs for our community, Armenian community. Yes, well, as you know, there are thousands, tens of thousands of Armenians in our community, and we are a central healthcare provider for them. And so we, as a faith-based hospital, with a foundation, always been faith-based and faith-driven, and I believe God-led over that 110 years. So we are sensitive, not just sensitive, but we embrace the faith communities around us. And for instance, related to the Armenian Christian faith, we celebrate Armenian Christmas, which is always fun because I get to celebrate twice, and we do the blessing of the grapes every year, and we also memorialize the Holocaust with our Armenian clergy, and they will come and give some testimonial and some inspiration to our staff and to any that participate. I love learning about great world religions and connecting with others who are on a path, following our Lord. And so that to me is just exciting. And I've met, I've enjoyed quality time with both archbishops of the local communities, and so forth. That's fantastic. Are you planning to go to Armenia? I am. You are? Absolutely. That's great. I absolutely, I love world travel, and I feel, even though I've learned an awful lot being the president of Glendale Adventist and getting acquainted with our local Armenian residents and staff and doctors and clergy, there's got to be something about going to Armenia that's going to secure my sense of purpose around serving this community better. And I would love to do it, it's this year, but maybe next spring. I'm not sure. I'm talking with some our Vice President of Medical Affairs and Quality, Arbi Nahapetian. He's a physician and a cardiologist. He and I are talking about it. We're talking about some business leaders in the community that might want to help sponsor or go with us. Whenever I bring up the idea of going to Armenia, I have people raise their hands saying, let's go, and they want to introduce me to their community or their city. In fact, there was a major Armenian clergyman here 6 months ago or so, and I met with him in Mus. What's the name of the city? Anyway, he wanted me to come and show me his city, and so I've got lots of great invitations, and I'm gonna get there one of these days. I think you'll enjoy it enormously if you go there, and then. So what's your idea? Where should I go? What must I see, Dr. Jordan? I want your advice too. First of all, you should go to our Echmias in Holy City. Holy City. Yeah, okay. I mean that's the faith. That's our have been our survivor, and it's our culture. Our religion is our culture. Right. So and then obviously Yerevan is the best, and all the neighborhood cities. The more you see, the better. Well, that sounds great. You should visit our lab in Armenia. Oh, that's even better. Yeah. I love it. So you'll realize what have you been sponsoring and where all the taxpayers' money go. There you go. I always tell everybody that who goes to Armenia that they should go and visit our place, our stem cell harvesting center and the registry, because it's pride of our society in Los Angeles, in California, who with their help we have been able to establish that as a place of excellence in Armenia.
One thing that I hope to do when we go there, and I will hopefully bring some doctors and nurses, is to do some medical mission work there. I mean,
Absolutely.
it would be great,
Yeah.
for me to learn about the culture and to be exposed to it and to see it and talk and meet great people. But the nurse in me says, if you don't do something while you're there, you really haven't fulfilled your purpose,
Yes.
And I've done medical ministry in foreign lands before, and it's very rewarding for myself and others that go along. So we plan to do some actual medical work other than just the ambassadorial type of connections. So
I think if the Armenian Medical Society can advise you on that.
Yeah.
Serine Melidonian is your staff member.
Well, there you go. She's
So
on our emergency
she's our
room.
president, so she can help
Absolutely,
you.
absolutely.
Yeah, so everything is there. What has been your pet project at the hospital? You have different beautiful projects, but what is very close to your heart?
Boy, it's like saying, which of your children do you love
Yes.
the most? I mean, everything that we've been
Yeah.
doing. Well, I'll tell you about a few projects, and I can't qualify them in series, in hierarchy. But just today, we opened our Heart and Vascular Institute.
Oh, congratulations.
Just today. We blessed it with our board and and Scott Ochoa and various representatives just a couple of hours ago. And that is going to be a central location for cardiologists, heart surgeons, interventional radiologists, and various specialist practitioners to work together in a common clinic and refer internally to one another to make it kind of a one-stop shop for cardiac care for patients.
Well, that's great.
We're really excited about that.
And you do the surgeries there, heart surgery there?
Yes, we do. Not in that clinic, but in the hospital we do.
In the hospital.
And we do advanced cardiac surgery in the hospital. So this is kind of like the clinic side for the doctors to see the patients before surgery or after surgery and to work them up. We have nuclear medicine in there, ultrasound services, cardiac echocardiography.
Yeah.
All of these things will be available just right there. And so it's exciting because we've had great cardiac programs all along, but this gives us kind of a centerpiece for that. So that's one of the things. One of the other things we're very proud of is our senior services program. Our senior services program is an outreach program to seniors in our community. We have, I think, over 2,000. I think we're about 2,400 seniors in the local community that basically become members of Glendale Adventist Medical Center. And the senior services program, just any of your watchers can call in and connect with our senior program. There's lots of great education, lots of information, wayfinding. Sometimes it's hard to navigate healthcare, and our senior program and our senior center are helpful in helping people find their way through the health system, understanding insurances, learning how to take care of themselves, all of these different things. And it's a great social thing. We have lots of parties and social events and educational sessions, and so I really encourage your viewers to participate in that because we are all growing older, so it's good to have those kinds of resources available.
So they can just call and arrange for joining. What is their? How can they join?
Just call the hospital and say, "I'd like to talk to the senior program. I'd like to be a member of your senior program," and they will take it from there.
Okay, fantastic. That's great.
And one of the other things that since you're asking about what we're proud of, I'm really proud of the clinical quality and the patient experience and what's happened at Glendale Adventist. Our staff, our doctors, our nurses have produced, for instance, in 2013, the best ever results in our clinical outcomes, meaning how likely you were to get well when going to a hospital. I mean, sickness can be very complex and not everybody gets well, but there's certain measurements that can tell you how good that hospital is. And for instance, our mortality rates are lower than, they were the fifth, most recent data showed that they were the fifth lowest mortality in the country.
Oh, that's fantastic news.
Yeah, we were really excited about that. We didn't know it till somebody told us. We knew we were good, but it was
because you get monitored.
And our patient experience, the surveys that we do with our patients when they go home, those scores have been improving consistently. We expect to get better and better every day, but it's very progressive. It's not like you just go boing boing, you know. We're very, very deliberate. We're applying best practices. Our nurses round on patients every hour, anticipate their needs rather than waiting for them to come up with a problem. They're very focused with working with the doctors hand in hand to make sure there's good communication. I mean, these are things, that's the nurse that comes out of me, because when the patient feels safe and they feel informed and they feel loved, I mean, they feel a loving caregiver. There's nothing like a loving caregiver when you're sick.
Absolutely.
And that's the kind of people that
and
we have at Glendale Adventist.
Your nurses, they go out of their way to speak Armenian too.
Well, very good. I
have heard that.
I can say a few things like inch peses and shot love, and that's about it.
I know, but that's kind of a bridge.
Yes.
Bridge the gap.
Indeed.
I mean, that's very important.
Indeed.
Well, I'm so glad, and we are very honored, first of all, that you came to our program to explain all these beautiful things that you are doing at the hospital.
Thank you.
We are so grateful for all the support that you are showing, not only to us, but to the whole community. And we wish you all the best on whatever projects that you are doing.
Well, thank
you. Hopefully that you'll be able to serve community more with all these new endeavors that you have.
Well, thank you. And God bless you in your medical ministry toward the bone marrow. I'll share with your viewers, we had breakfast recently, and I learned that your full-time job is something else, but this is something that you do out of your personal love for your people and for your community, and what a great ministry
for all patients in the world.
But it's amazing. And
Thank you very much.
So blessings on you as well.
Thank you very much. We have a beautiful commercial on Glendale. It's not commercial, it's descriptive information on the Adventist Center that I want to finish off with that information.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Սիրելի հայրենակիցներ, հույսով որ ամեն ինչը շատ մոտքից հետևեցիք եւ միջով գալ անգամ ստեյշուն ձեզ։
Glendale Adventist Medical Center 500 մահճակալով ամենամեծ ու լավագույն հիվանդանոցը Glendale-ում։ Հայախոս բժիշկներ եւ բուժ անձնակազմ կենտրոնը հայտնի է նյարդաբանության եւ սրտանոթային հիվանդությունների բաժանմունքներով, որտեղ իրականացվում է թե հիվանդության ախտորոշում, թե բուժում։ Հարմարավետ ու բարեկարգ հիվանդասենյակներ, սպասասրահներ, 24 ժամ գործող լաբորատորիա, emergency ծառայություն, MRI եւ X-ray-ի բարձրակարգ սպասարկում։ Հայտնի ու ճանաչված մասնագետներ, իդեալական մաքրություն։ Glendale Adventist Medical Center.